Welcome everyone to Politically High Tech with your host Elias. This is going to be the final tech episode. Well, not technically because 210. I want to talk about technological upgrades and just brag about that. But I already give you hints. I want to dump Zoom. Zoom was a desperate replacement. So I'll be happy to toss the damn thing out the window. And well, figuratively speaking, you can't toss a digital thing out the window unless you want to throw out the laptop with it. Then fine. That's the only way that it could technically happen. All right. So I have a guest here. He is definitely a business founder, owner, and I'm assuming IT slash cybersecurity expert that is needed more than ever for obvious reasons. We online more than ever. Just simple as that, right? Doesn't get simpler than that. Shopping, dating, yes, it's a thing. Online dating. I don't know, accounting, whatever you do, playing games, all of that. All that you need protection because there are some slimy, shady creatures out there that want to get your personal data, use that against you for some ransom or just hack you. But before I drag this, I want to get his momentum going because he's gonna get hot off the mic, and I want to just exploit that as much as possible. Yes, I am that shameless. So let's welcome Nicholas Lorizio. He's the founder of Astute Technologists. And I'm gonna have him introduce yourself because I don't want to omit or unintentionally misrepresent him. So go right ahead. What do you want the listeners and viewers to know about you?
Oh, sure. Well, thank you, Elias, for having me. This is a topic I don't speak on often outside of the home, but you can't escape it today. You can't escape it in work. You can't escape it in the grocery store. You can't escape it anywhere. And politics is in every facet of our lives. It's a form of entertainment for us. It's a fascinating topic for all Americans, particularly and globally. But thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk on it and give my take or my thoughts from what I've seen and do it from a cyber angle and talk kind of pop culture too. I'm a Boston guy. I moved up to New Hampshire during the pandemic, like many. Live free or die country. It's awesome up here. Just like many New Yorkers have moved to either Florida or Vermont. We people have left big major cities. However, I know that New York isn't all a big city. If you ask Bostonians if you live an hour outside of Boston, they'll say I'm still from Boston, which I don't know where you cut off the greater Boston point. But New York, I'm has a clear line of upstate and the southern part. So um, anyway, most of New York city people have relocated. And I find it very fascinating with all these changing times, and the ability to work remotely from anywhere has enabled us to do that, to relocate and have these tools like you just said, Zoom, and you're switching to probably a StreamYard, which I like a lot, or there's plenty out there. So who am I? College educated, Jesuit. Recently got a cert awarded to me from the Tuck Executive School. um, I'm a published best-selling author and have more to come in that series. And I'm a founder of a startup, and it's an untraditional path here in New Hampshire as opposed to the Silicon Valley that we've known for the last 20 plus years that has seemingly gone away.
Oh yes, definitely. I mean, I'm probably the delayed one because I'm definitely moving out of this city, guaranteed next year. Probably definitely going to the south. I tend to like the south.
What part?
I'm just gonna give a state so far. Georgia is one that's calling my attention. Georgia.
Savannah. Move to the coast. That's where it's at. If you can,
Yeah,
whenever you're on the water, it's a little more, but people pay for that calming effect the water has. Like here in Portsmouth, I love it. The mountains are great too. I like both, but for day-to-day life, being on the coast and being able to look at the ocean has this therapeutic effect on the mind that is awesome. And I feel that a lot of people kind of feel that way after the pandemic and all the chaos. So it's I would check out Savannah, or Charleston is another popular place as well in South Carolina.
Yeah, I've looked into that as well. I mean, I'm open to choices. Just because I say Georgia doesn't mean there's a definitive thing, but I'm definitely looking to places where there's like you said, water. Yeah, water
We
is good for mental health.
cho-
Waters washes the stresses and the toxins and the negativity you go through and endure. So of course, it makes perfect sense.
we
Yeah,
don't drink we don't drink enough of it, and
yeah, I agree.
it's I like that you said choices. I feel like many of us feel like we don't have that many today, which is sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could go on. I could definitely go deep on that, especially on philosophy, mental, and all that other stuff. I mean, ooh, yeah, I could go on for a while, but definitely, I don't mind merging politics and tech together. I mean, it is interconnected so many ways, especially with this potential TikTok ban, and I'm sure all the stuff that's going on with that. So far, the House is dead on set with that one. 352. Wow, where's that bipartisanship on important issues?
Well, it's not. This is where literally my girlfriend caught me, and I'm the one who credits myself on checking 20 different sources anytime I read something today, right? And that's kind of what I've done in podcasting or my blog, and I try and do my honest best effort to speak the truth. However, every headline, every radio, because I've found that radio is talk radio can be kind of therapeutic too. I don't know why since the pandemic, but it's just nice sometimes to go for a drive and put that on. Every single station on the radio was like TikTok's getting banned, and everyone under 30 gets their news from TikTok. What are they going to do? It's not, and this is credit to my girlfriend for catching me on this because she knew I was doing this today. And she's like, well, actually, it's a force of sale within 6 months. And we'll see how China reacts to it. However, they've been talking about this since the inception of TikTok, and it's pretty unlikely. I think that headline gets a lot of clicks, just like COVID did.
Yeah. Oh no, of course you always say ban, 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 but thank you for bringing the nuances and the actual context. Yeah, this is really it's a tempt China ByteDance particularly. It's a divest, give a sale to US, so we have control of the data and all that. That's what this is all about. And if not, then after I forget how many days now. Jeez, I just read that too. I think like 5 months essentially. Then comes the ban. But we'll see how far that goes. The Senate, they seem more hesitant about it. Rand Paul is already saying, nope, not going to support it. Violates First Amendment. And Charles Schumer don't seem committed so far. But we'll see about that. So, yeah, the House is adamant about it, even though it has opposition from the younger folk, like Maxwell Frost, the youngest Congress member there, Florida. I think it's 27 right now. Yeah, probably yeah, definitely the only Gen Z member that I could think of that's there. Yeah, probably the only one. There's so many advanced age folks. Try not to be ages, and
Well, our founding fathers were like 26. Yeah, we died younger, but I mean, come on, we're very capable at that age. Once the brain fully develops, it should be fair play. I don't see why not. I'm for term limits, and you're doing a public service. You shouldn't be enriching and lining your pockets. That just screams corruption, right? It's obvious, and it's stupid. And yeah, we need to clean house. I mean, every company's done mass layoffs. Like, this was what Vivek ran on, which was kind of cool. He's like, we just need to clean house. But obviously you're saying that, and then what do you think every intelligence agency is going to do, right? And I mean, what's your thought on the TikTok ban? Should it be banned? Should it be under US control? What do you think?
well, at first, I'm going to be honest. I'm going back to season 3. I was full on with ban, 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 especially the mental health was doing among the young people. I used to support that, but now I'm more no because of the help that it does to small business. The small business angle
Yeah.
is what changed my mind. No, I don't care about the First Amendment and the dumb young people. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't care about that. That doesn't move me. If TikTok was just for that, I would have said ban, ban, ban. You will not change my mind. But the fact that I've researched actually helped small business, that changed me. I said, you know what? That I changed my mind. I'm with, well, not for the same reasons as Trump. Trump is more petty and all of that other stuff. But he was more, oh, bam, 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 bam. And now he's just keeping it just for competition, free market, and of course to challenge Facebook and the others. So
Yeah.
his
Well,
my reason, his reason are very, very different. Mine was just a small business thing. I have more of a soft heart for small business. So you know what? That changed my mind. It actually helps, and it's actually economic opportunity. You know, for some. So you say, you
well,
know,
yeah, and look, and you can get into a lot here. You've just covered a lot of ground really quickly. So, it's look, the small business isn't lobbying. They're not going to Washington, and small businesses aren't typically operating nationally or definitely not globally for the most part. So and look, and with that being said, they get left behind. However, that's the backbone. That's the backbone of America's small business. That's where innovation happens, and I've been quoted saying this already, right? That's where innovation happens. It's we need to protect that branch, and we need to protect entrepreneurs, right? And what's going to happen, we're going to rip it all down, and we're going to have a republic like we did back in the 80s, which I think our parents and the older generations are like fearful of. However, we're craving it because we can't buy houses and we can't buy groceries and we can't do these things, so we're like, bring back a free market. However, when that happens, we need to be ready for it, and we need to be able to do business with our communities and take care of one another and not rely on Uncle Sam, because that's going away, and it kind of has to go away, in my opinion.
oh, the
And
liberal
rebuild, rip and
pro-government
rebuild.
people. Oh, I'm sure some of you are triggered, but I'm a registered independent, and it actually screws me in New York, probably somewhere like Georgia.
RFK, are you going to vote for RFK?
I really don't know. He's a bit kooky on some positions. I mean, I can understand being skeptical of the COVID vaccine. I was actually with him on that.
Freedom
But
of choice and taking it to get a job.
no, that
Yeah,
part
that
I was
was
against that. No, that one I was adamantly against all government that was using the jab just for a job thing. I was actually, yeah, I was totally against that. I've said that consistently. I said no. That's and you know what? And then the government's had to cough up money now because they actually violated the Constitution and stay in the federal level. I said this is actually pretty illegal. There's nothing in the Oh, so that's why they're making that law. I had debate with friends with that. They even thought I was like a far right. I said, if you hack into my voting records, I'm as purple as it could be.
Well, do those friends rely on government assistance, right? Follow the money. I'm a businessman, so that never
Um,
lies, in my opinion.
yeah, well,
You know,
yep, some of them are on that, and some just listen to what mainstream media tells them.
that's sad. And I think they grew up in a household where that was normal and everyone wanted to build the perfect system. However, our founding fathers realized many years ago that there isn't one. And it starts with we, the people, for a reason, right? And I think I'm a registered Republican. As a millennial, that's very rare. I think a lot of people have been brainwashed, and I'm for a free and open market. And look, I think most business men and women are Republicans, as much as they don't always want to say it because they feel like they're going against the popular opinion, right? So, yeah, I hope we continue in this direction, because what's happened over the last few years has been a shame.
Oh yeah. I mean, Dems, you lost me as a supporter years ago when I was a very moderate. I was always, when it comes to financial issues, I always lean to the right, even when I used to be a very moderate Democrat, the blue dog, which is dying. It's a dying breed. Yeah, I jumped off the bandwagon like a year over almost a decade. Yeah, it's actually a decade ago where I actually ditched the Democrat Party. It's I'm not gonna deal with this woke stuff and all that. I'm against it. This is dumb. This is against America. This is against freedom of speech. Look, I don't care what you do in your bedroom. Stop showing your business out there. If you put your business out there, you're going to be open to criticism and ridicule. Just stop.
Yeah,
But
and you can have conversations on issues. Like, as an entrepreneur, I know what it's like to go off healthcare and need to get help. Unfortunately, I've been healthy throughout this journey for the most part. However, look, there's people that go off medications, they go off things, and they can't, all of a sudden they lose their job and they can't get access to that. And then how are they going to get another job or do something productive because they don't have like their basic needs, like Maslow's hierarchy, like food, water, shelter, sex. Like you need like health is like in that, right? Somewhere. So is Obamacare perfect? No. But our health cost prices that have ballooned so much that only large companies can afford to foot that bill, right? So something should be done there. And you saw like Mark Cuban came and he just totally obliterated prescription drug costs, which was really cool. So that's where you can see the kind of business mind come in. And actually, Cuban is he's a Democrat or independent. I mean, you could tell he's not way out with the far left. You could just tell in the way that he speaks. However, he did something really cool. That is a Republican move traditionally. So it's you can have conversations about issues and not be so and people's minds change. You're seeing a lot of people that were full blown Democrats, like popular talk show hosts, are coming out and be like, we can't have this anymore. Something has to be done, right? So people's minds do change.
Yeah, the ones that have changed, I think the ones I've seen changes. Well, maybe he's been kind of open with it. I'm not sure. Like Dr. Phil, Dr. Phil seems like when he talks, he sounds like he's somewhat in the rational right. He talks about some of the issues, even though certain lefties has called him out on this. So, well, I just think he's rational about these issues. Something like Dr. Phil, I think he's more open with his political opinion than before, for sure. Who else? I think Dr. Drew's another one that actually caught my attention. So, whoa, okay, he's speaking out more. I gotta hear this guy. I always thought he was kind of like a fair-minded person. I think he's definitely inching more on the right. Yep, some people's minds change. Like me, like I said, for my political journey, I start off as a very moderate Democrat. Certain things I agree with the government, but when it came to like some fiscal issues, I said, nah, this is just got to take care of it. I always had that little, and even when it comes to like strong military defense, and I think foreign affairs, I'm more on the right on that one. Yeah, at this point, I'm just going to own that. I'm more to the right on that because when the Democrats do something about it, it turns into crap for the most part, especially what's going on with multiple areas. Oh, I know it's controversial to say, but it's kind of.
Well, corruption is in every system. It's everywhere, and clearly our founding fathers saw that. I worked with a police department in Boston where this is a public news story where the chief was making 300, the son of the chief was making 200,000. And they're were taking half their time to go on vacations, and everyone, even in public office, can be corrupted eventually, right? And that's where you got to look at some of the younger folks and their opinions where maybe they haven't gone through some of that stuff and and help them out, right? And it's the system's not going to do it. It hasn't helped me very much in any way. And you really need to focus on those soft skills I talk about a lot, and relationship building, and building a community of people that'll essentially help take care of you if you need it. And to your point with like the strong military, great, but like look at these defense contractors. There's like three of them, and the barrier to entry to go work for them is very high. Their bidding process with the government takes very long from personal experience. I can share a lot of this. I like dealing in private markets because it's quick and easy. It's not easy. Don't get me wrong. We've built a lot of barriers in that space, but I don't have the long due diligence, that they do with contracts. The bidding cycle is so competitive. You'll have 30 technology IT providers just throw an RFP out there and change some wording around, and by the time they actually sign the damn piece of paper, the technology is completely different. So there's a lot of problems there. They don't even do they haven't, like, the government doesn't even really adopt a SaaS model. A lot of it's these like perpetual licenses, or you sell like a one time, like, let's call it, like, just to speak to anybody, everyone has Office. So when you sell an Office license to the government, let's say it's the Department of Defense and they need tens of thousands of licenses, and you sell that. Well, let's say they got defunded or whatever happened over time, and now they're two, three versions of Office ahead, and they have this old version running, and they can't do anything about it quickly enough because, right, because of budgets and because of this process. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done in that sense.
I mean, yeah, I still support a strong military, but I do absolutely agree with you about the whole it's overly bloated. There's a few contractors, and like the top dogs only gets, I was like 90% of the pie, and then everybody else gets scraps. I mean, I'm kind of exaggerating. I did talk to a consultant who kind of went deep into this. This was to confirm your point. A government consultant I talked to, very, very, very knowledgeable man. Gene Moran, I might have to put the link down below. Great interview, by the way. He talked about how the top gets like 60% of the pie, the middle gets like another 20, like another like 30%, and everybody else, 9% of those small contracts get like just that 10%, and they gotta fight for scraps. While the top got all.
Right, and like we talked about, that's
I
where
absolutely agree with you.
innovation
That needs to
happens.
change though. You know, I'm not saying about how they do business, all that. I don't defend that. No, that I agree with you. It needs to change entirely.
Absolutely. I'm for a strong military too. You know, I just think that there's room for improvement everywhere. You can have a conversation and not be so it's black and white because it's not, you
You
know,
know,
and what do they do for entrepreneurs? If I were to, you know, as a smaller startup, submit a contract to the federal government, they're not going to pick me. Doubt it, you
yeah,
know.
they're
They
gonna
might
do with the these stack of pages pass you by.
waste of time. Waste of time. I've tried.
So yeah, no, they're not. Yeah, the federal government is definitely not pro small business. I could say that much. I can say it with confidence. I read about research. I talk to people. Yeah, that's the conclusion that I've reached doing all this talking, research, what have you. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna say about that. Let's jump to the more wow, we got to unexpected all this political stuff. But hey, I welcome it. I don't mind intersectionality. I don't mind the unpredictability. I can keep up with this stuff as long as it's not about I don't know the size of Kim Kardashian's back engine or something like that. I was okay. I'm ignorant on that. The only thing I'm gonna do is just be quiet and just probably make some sounds and noises so like that the audience could just know that I'm bored as hell. Yeah, that's what I'm shameless. I'm shameless sometimes. I don't like,
Well, can we play a? It's funny. I like when you put the cool trap beats or EDM beats in front of the video. So hopefully we'll put one of those and make it fun. And yeah, but politics is, to your point, it's inescapable. It's a part of business. It's a big part of tech, and a lot of the big tech monopolies are super far left.
oh,
And we see, right? Yeah. So
I mean,
they've
look at
literally.
AI, look at the Gemini. I mean, we came historically accurate figures. I was just laughing. I said,
It's
this is what look, I'm not the most right-leaning, left-leaning person, but even I was like, this is just ridiculous. Abraham Lincoln had a nice melanin touch up, and I think Cleopatra like some yeah, no, it's wrong. Okay, when it comes to historical accuracy, that's why I lost it. That is wrong, is wrong, is wrong. This is just DI on steroids. Look, I'm for diversity and inclusion. Not that way. Not that way. It's the how I got a big problem. It has to be organic. It has to be no. You're not going to revise history just to please a couple of people. No, that's utterly ridiculous. As a historian, I was actually offended just because how inaccurate it was, and it was saying, and it even had its opinions, and the opinions favor the left.
Well,
It's
history repeats itself, right? And we know this. And there's a reason we study history in school. It's to not make the same mistakes that we did before. So we need to know and remember history and keep that close to the chest and making our decisions that set the future. So we have to think about the past to determine the best outcome. And when we jump into things like AI and we jump into new technologies, tools, and vaccines, and we see some of this stuff, we need to compare it to events in the past to make sense of it, right? And not always take the information that's given to us and just mindlessly listen to it. We need to think about is this true? Is this vaccine safe? It's been out for a month. Why am I being forced to take it? This doesn't sound right. Look, if you didn't force me to take it, maybe I would have, so instead I feel like I'm having to, like, not saying I did this, but forge a vaccine card like people used to do to get into the military a long time ago. And I compared it to that event where they had drafts and people were writing, fake illnesses or whatever to get out of it, like in Vietnam. And I felt that strongly present in our society, as well as our big companies were all pushing this as a control mechanism. Like, you can't work or do anything; you have to get the vaccine. Well, turns out that we were right, and look at Pfizer's billions in profit. Look at the sponsorships with Travis Kelce and others that are getting paid for, and promoting this thing. And it's like, what happened here? Well, and that was a very sad moment in our history. And I hope that we can move forward and not make that mistake again.
I hope so too. To your point, even though I know you didn't do this, but there are people that actually did forge vaccine cards and they got busted. One of them was so dumb. One of them just said took a vaccine in Hawaii, and then the other one in New York, and the dates were similar. I said, if you I hate to say it. Look, if you're gonna try to be a criminal, be smart about it. And one of them even written it in crayon. I'm not making this stuff up. Let's talk about forgery in a dumb way. Oh yeah, that's happening. Those people got caught. So, of course,
Yeah, well, there's white collar crime, right? And there's a reason that exists. And there's criminals are criminals because they get caught. So,
yeah,
and take from people that they shouldn't take money from.
yep, exactly. All right, let's focus more on your wheelhouse, and then of course we're gonna jump into the other stuff as well. I think some people still need education with AI because I like AI. I'm a cautious optimist as an AI user. And I've been saying this. I'm not a career counselor. It's better for you to learn AI so you can still be relevant to the job market, instead of just being so afraid or rejected outright. If you're gonna reject it, become Amish, become a cave person. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I've said that, and I'm shameless. I'm gonna say it again. If you want to stay relevant, just do that. What are the common misconceptions about AI in business? Because I know some have a hard time implementing it. Some, what's your take?
I'm going to lose my job, right? AI is going to replace me. It's like, when I say, well, did the excavator replace the shovel? No, we production increased. So that's what we're going to see. I'm an early adopter, right? I learned that in college. Thanks $200,000 education for this, but and now Biden's paying for that too. So devaluing my education, great. So anyway, look, I'm an early adopter. It makes a lot of sense to me. It's probably not going to make a lot of sense to baby boomers right away. Maybe not even for their 12 years, right? That's your laggards on the scale, on the spectrum. So it's going to take time for people to adopt it. And only 4%, last time I checked, uh, of US companies have adopted AI tools and systems. So the market is ripe for opportunity and change. And you can do AI, like I have my own instance of AI, a suit advisor that sounds like me, talks like me, learns a heck of a lot from me, and it could just do my job. So it's an amazing, powerful tool. However, human oversight and human creativity cannot be replaced by machine. So you can't get rid of that. Just the way we work is changing. It is going to change. So either adopt it, adapt, or die, or just retire and go to Florida or wherever.
I could just imagine critics. Ooh, that sounds very ageist, Nick. How dare you? But
Look, I'm playing to my strengths. Like just like somebody's gonna play the poor me card. I'm a minority this and that, and I'm a better suited person for the job based on my skill set and ability. Look, I'm a 30-year-old male. I don't want to age myself too quick, but by the end of the month, like, I'm a fighting age male and I will outwork you, and I just have that capability. I don't always have the answer or know the solution to a problem, right? And it's important to listen to wisdom that gets attained over time in life. However, there is something to be said about a younger person who has a lot of drive and ambition, right? They just it's just a fact of life can outwork you.
Yeah, that's generally the case though, right? That's just a normal example. Rather you like it or not, that's irrelevant. That's reality. That's objectivity. There's real data, real statistics, common examples. It's true. Truth don't care whether you like it or not. It's gonna repeat and it's gonna happen because a young person has more energy, generally speaking. I mean, there's very few that are, there
Yeah.
are exceptions to the rule, but that's not common. That's the thing. It's not common. But
Common sense.
yeah, exactly. It's just not common. Of course, there are very, very, there's very few young people that just can't walk for because they had to have a physical disability, mental disability, or all the above. But that's not a common example. That's my point. I'm not saying all people just gonna die.
Look, I just met with a an outlier who was 84. He's a bodybuilder and he's sharp as I am. I mean, just very bright, quick. But again, that's not common. That's an outlier. Like he's an amazing person that I spoke with. So look, it's not. I'm not making a blanket statement. However, you need to, as especially like I look at things from a business lens, right? And try and take in multiple points of views and come out with the best outcome, right? And hopefully most people are happy with that decision. And like Bezos said it himself, like it reaches a certain point, you just have to make a decision because any decision is better than just sitting there and doing nothing. Like you have to take action and move forward. And you might not always say the right thing or do, like the right, you might make a mistake. Oh, wow, we're imperfect people. We have failure, and that's how we grow. And look, there's common sense, and I think that I know that it's common sense seems to be lacking today.
Oh, that's putting it nicely. I mean, I hate. I mean, I'm just gonna it's probably gonna be bashing myself, but it comes with a point. As a kid, I didn't have much common sense. I had a great IQ, but in terms of common sense of doing basic stuff, it's just my God, my goodness, this kid is an idiot. When it comes to talk about history, politics, even well, I used to be into science too. I kind of am, but that's not my main strength anymore. And even mathematics and all that. So, oh wow, this kid is bright. When it comes to, I don't know, putting the pencil, the sharpener, and all that they used to break, and clumsy, and all of that. That's all. This kid's a freaking idiot, But as I got more mature, I'm gonna use a fake Southern accent. My common sense has developed, and yeah, I still have a high IQ, but I think my scientific intelligence just kind of went downhill. I decided to focus on more history, politics. Well, then again, I'm more into technology and all of that, so that's probably my science intelligence recovering a bit. Yeah, I know I'm kind of talking about myself here, but yeah,
Oh, that's
I
cool.
think
I'm always just as interested in the host as me. People love to talk about themselves, right? And
yeah,
you know,
I'm an anomaly. I'm an anomaly on that. Normally, I don't talk about myself, but every once in a while I do. Every once in a while.
it took a lot of like to your point earlier about I think it was Dr. Drew or Dr. Phil, and this is like I brought up talk show host. Look, it takes a lot for people to speak up. Like no one wants to. I don't necessarily I didn't necessarily want to go to this point where I'm on so many shows and I'm talking and having all these conversations and putting myself out there. It's uncomfortable at first, and then it's a process. You get better with time, right? And it's a skill. It really is a soft skill to be generalist and speak on multiple topics like we are now. And more people need to be able to sit in a room. Like whether I've had some experiences just even at a town level, sitting at a town board, managing multiple personalities of diverse backgrounds and age and skin color and gender, whatever. You it's an ability to sit in a room around a table of people from diverse backgrounds and come out with an outcome. Not everyone's going to be happy with it, right? But that's a skill set. and develop that, work on it. It's a very important skill to have in life.
Yeah. I actually absolutely agree. My only thing is I wish I was to start this earlier because oh yeah, it's actually helping me out. It's actually opening more doors for me. Because before I just used to just be screw the other. I mean, I think the hard in New Yorkness is actually biting me in the ass a bit, being too anti, yeah, just not trusting people at all. Because you be bombarded with BS every day, and
Yeah.
not just the online ads. You got people ads too.
I
Okay.
lived in Chinatown, so I lived in Chinatown for 3 months when I was 20 years old. So I know it very well. I had a lot of fun, and it wasn't for me. But that Canal Street, right? Like that
Oh yeah.
that's what you're telling me right now is Canal Street, the Rolex watches and the right.
Oh no, that's one of the peak areas of ad. That's one of the peak areas. Yeah, look at you remember the specific street. I mean, it is actually pretty memorable. Look at that. Yeah, look at that. A native Bostonian. Look at that. Knowing about New York. Well, it's actually if you take the M-Track, people, it's not a big stretch if you decide to travel instead of being stuck. Just saying.
Got to learn the subway in New York. You just have to do it, and
Oh yeah.
it's just figuring it out. Trial
Yeah,
and error.
yeah, yeah, and especially and knowing where the best exits, New York's exit. Yeah, that's how you know you're a native New Yorker. You don't have to be born to be a native New Yorker. You could actually earn a native New York status. Odd, but yeah.
Well, Boston and New York have always had a fun competitive relationship. So,
Oh, especially with
uh,
me.
yeah,
Oh no,
but
I think that one is one of the few I would say is more toxic than politics.
yeah. Well,
Oh
no,
man,
I don't. I won't even go into that. But no, it's.
I'm
I
not.
mean,
I'm
look,
not
I'm in
racing
New
Yankees,
Hampshire
so you're
now, right?
lucky
So
on
that's
that. Even if
I
you
could.
bash Yankees, I won't even care. So okay, yeah, they're a bunch of spoiled brats that get paid a lot. I actually agree with that.
The Sox are looking good this year.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, I
You
don't.
guys with your sushi and $20 beer and leather seats, and I'm getting coffee spilt on me and Cracker Jacks, and people are like spilling stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Fenway Park, that we have you beat on that.
Oh yeah, nah. I had a free suite experience, so I could brag on that about all the food and pizza getting get served to me and all of that. Yeah, luxury experience, very rare. I will brag about that, but okay, enough about me. Enough about me. You see, niggas just attracting my ego here. I'm normally not this open people. This is rare, rare,
That's
rare.
what I do. That's my profession, right?
Yeah,
I
nah,
build people
you
up,
do great.
and people love to talk about themselves. And when you look at it from that lens, it'll make you a better host. I mean, when I start hosting and do more of my show, it's like just asking good questions. And I've worked on this in my profession a lot. Is just listening. Like so many people have so much to say. T- take a step back and listen. Everyone has a story or a unique perspective. Let people speak up. Don't be the loudest person at the table. Oftentimes in business, and before I started doing this, I lived by always say less than necessary. Always like I would sit around a table or be in a sales conversation or consulting call and let the other person talk. I would challenge myself to let the other person talk as much as possible, and that's going to make me better at my job. I'm going to probably learn something that I didn't know before, and and the person's going to be happier doing that. They don't want to hear. People can look me up. I'm not that. I don't like to think I'm that interesting. So I'm always interested in other people, and when I would like to wrap. I like to wrap the end the conversation or help facilitate or recap what was said throughout the meeting and getting those various perspectives, right? And a lot of people can't do that. So you're good at it. Anyone that's a podcast host has worked on that skill set, but most people will just can't give up the mic, you know?
No, you're absolutely right because I even encourage the guests. You want to add more? You want to add more? You want to add more? Because I don't want that. If I even give a warning, I feel like I'm dominating this conversation. Well, that's why I don't even not contribute a lot. But let me turn myself down a little bit on that. Because hey, I said it before in the podcast. I don't mention this often. I should mention this more often. That this is conversational style. The guests could ask host questions. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't. That separates an awesome guest from a meh guest. If I'm gonna be nice. I'm not gonna lie. I think there were some. I think it was one business guest I have. I'm definitely not having them back on. Oh goodness, so hard to work with. But I'm not mentioning this person's name. You find out. You take a guess in the comic session. I'm gonna just confirm it. Yes, that person's not coming back. Yeah, very. I mean, he wasn't. This person wasn't mean, but just not helpful. Very dense and all of that. It's just, yeah. I don't. Yeah, it was bad. But before I try to wrap this up, I'm not going to talk about why. Yeah, let's talk about why cybersecurity is important. Just as I already said the basic reasons, but since you're an expert, I want the more technical, nuanced reasons or whatever reasons you're coming with that I haven't mentioned.
Well, we've seen it like with the TikTok ban, its ability to change opinions and shape minds and shape younger minds, well, younger than me, younger than you. And that's where it gets scary, where you can influence an entire generation to think a certain way about topics. That's very dangerous, and we need to be cognizant of that and have balance in our lives. And look, it's now escalated from like, okay, we have TikTok to entire foreign nations now are resorting to cyber warfare to take down critical infrastructure, businesses of all sizes, small and large government entities are taken offline. Well, overnight, pay this Bitcoin to Russia, whatever, China, which I see as a much larger threat today because of their economy. So we have this fascinating thing happening where in the Cold War era, everyone was building bunkers and they were doing this in the event of a nuclear war. That's not going to happen, right? MAD, which was said is mutually assured destruction between everyone. So nobody wants that outcome. With cybersecurity, you can specifically target critical infrastructure like water filtration, electrical grids, nuclear power, and you can cause a lot of havoc seemingly unintrusively, without warning. And look, we'll take each other out from within before another nation will come on our shores. So I feel that that's now where it's gone and where it's escalated to full blown cyber warfare. And I will continue to go on every show, write every book, blog, and speak on this topic as much as possible because I know in my heart how big of a threat this really is. And we need to draw attention to it, be cognizant of the risks and dangers, and ultimately drive more resources, get it into schools sooner. There's a 5 million number. That's been the number that I've read from. That's like the mean number I've read from various sources of people that's how many jobs are open in the field. So we need to drive more people to the field, get more people trained, and know how to stop, isolate, and combat the cyber threat.
Absolutely. I always, and I've been saying this for a while now, sometimes not on the podcast, that I think America is going to destroy itself within as opposed to a foreign adversary. It's not egotistical. I mean, multiple historians, very wise ones, have predicted that. And I believe that look at this division that's going on. We are definitely heading on that track if we don't get that, if we don't nip that in the bud. So, yeah, this is definitely beyond Dems versus Democrats versus Republicans.
Yep.
That's just the small. That's just like the level one surface level theater stuff. There's more like the elite, the status quo preservers versus the smaller people who wants to uproot and end status quo. That's where the real fight is at. Dem Republican, that's just
Business leaders need to step up, look at their budget, carve out some dollars, hire, train, have a third party entity for risk to mitigate risk if you're attacked, right? You have to take steps today to protect yourself, your employees. You have an obligation to do so. So do it, right? And you can't, like we talked about earlier, you can't rely on the government for everything. A lot of them are not tech savvy, as we talked about age earlier. They did not grow up with devices like we did. So we see the threat. We need to step up and be a voice where it matters, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's already a lot of stores coming out with outdated technology for the government. You already said they haven't implemented SaaS at all. That's what to
Right.
young minds. What? But
It's just a matter of time before somebody cracks the code
yeah,
to legacy software. And the longer you wait to replace and not do updates, right?
yeah, no, it's insane for sure. It's insane.
It is.
Alrighty, yeah. And Jared Kushner said they even have floppy disk still being used. So yeah, they're not being dramatic. Yeah, the government is very,
Yeah.
very rusty in technology. That's scary.
John McAfee's son had a floppy disk with a lot of sensitive data and they leveled his apartment building. So careful.
Yep, yep, yep. Just be
Cool.
real careful. All right, let's do the shameless plugging. You already plugged in your book a couple of times, and let me emphasize on the website here. So, lovely people, especially small and medium-sized business. Yes, I think I'll just include you. This would be a little nice. We don't mind slightly more developed allies, unless you act like big business, and I'll toss you away. All right. That's just me.
I'm a small,
I'm pretty
I'll take
frustrated.
all the help I can get. It's a humbling experience to choose the entrepreneur path. I'm sure, as you know, you're
Yeah.
not, yeah, you learn a lot about yourself.
So let me just do the shameless plug. So go to, especially if you want cybersecurity, small business, medium business, go to astutetechnologist.com. I'm going to spell that for you. AstuTechnologist.com. Okay, he
Yep.
even has a book as well. Feel free to plug that in again. I'm a capitalist.
Okay. All right. Competition is good.
Yep,
Healthy sportsmanlike competition is good and fun.
yep. So let's.
Digitalization, the new normal of the post-pandemic world. You can get version 2. This is a legacy edition, but I would appreciate the support. I would. It's a cool collector's item, and reach out to me. Maybe I'll get you a signed copy. I'd be happy to do that. And yeah, I appreciate it. And you can check
Let
out
me
my
do one more
socials
thing for the
at
New
oh sure.
Yorkers. I gotta attack the
All
native
right.
here. Don't hold his Bostonian heritage against him. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Drop your baseball eagle crap. Not in this podcast. This is not a sports podcast. I don't want to hear no about baseball, Yankees, whatever. You can even call me a traitor for not even supporting Yankees and the Mets because I'm playing neutral here. Just drop that. All the other states I'm not too worried about. Just go get his stuff.
We know how to get inside your head, huh? No. So
Yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, native New Yorkers just dropped the whole, to hell with the Boston Red Sox and all of that other stuff. No. We got enough chaos. We got the Trump and Biden rematch, which most people don't want, but they still voted for them anyways in the primary. So major cognitive dissonance on the voters. Just
it's
got.
rigged. It's rigged. I'm gonna go before I get myself shot. So all right, thank you.
Yeah. So just and one more thing, follow him on Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Anything else you want to add before you go?
Yeah, my handle is N Lorizio, first initial, last name. And thank you again, Elias.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure you got stuff to do.
That's how you know I haven't been drinking, by the way. I don't have a Boston accent, but it can sneak out as time goes on.
It's all right. We welcome all access as long as it's understandable.
All right.
Yeah, they go true inclusivity right there. Hopefully, if I understand it, that's the only time I'm excluding accent. But other than that, that's all right.
Cool.
All righty then. So, all right, my people. If you love this unexpected intersection, yes, I'm gonna use intersection properly, not the woke kind of way. They just want to mix everything together. Politics and technology. I mean, this is it went well. It went well. If you enjoyed this episode, give a like, comment, subscribe, shares for YouTube. follows for Rumble. Okay. Yes, I do Rumble as well, just in case YouTube wants to act crazy one day. You never know. You never know. And for anyone who's listening, I have this bootleg. Yes, I'm going to use the word bootleg tech background. Look like it's a hacker, really, just trying to get into the system. It seems like I represented the hacker. I know you could call me left on that one. It's left in this conversation, but I remember trying to represent cybersecurity folks. So if you caught that cognitive dissonance, good for you. Feel free to bash me. That's your little common activity. But let me get serious. If you enjoy this, give a star review at Apple Podcasts. Hopefully it's a 5-star. If not, I totally get it. And if I'm not getting a 5-star, I would like a review why. It would be nice. And if for those who give me 5 stars, completely optional. A lot of them tend to give me a review anyways. Oh, how great I am and all that other lovely stuff. And if for Spotify with their barbaric system, they just have a star rating system. You can't write a review. So hopefully just give me a 5-star. And if not, I get it. Oh well. I could live without it. It'd be nice to have it though. It's like luxury. It's nice to have, but I could live without. So from wherever you're listening to this podcast, you have a blessed day, afternoon, or night.